And welcome back to the channel. On this video, as I walk around and show you the bike I'm going to be riding, it is the Lyric Graffiti X, and I want to talk about whether it's considered a electric motorcycle or electric bicycle. And I am recording this in 4K 60 frames per second. I haven't been doing that for quite a while now. I've been doing just 1080p 30 frames per second. So please let me know in the comments what you think of the quality of this video. Do you like it much better? Would you prefer the 4K video, or does it even matter? I think a lot of people out there watch on their mobile devices, and particularly on your phone, it's a small screen, right? So you probably don't notice the quality difference so much. But if you're watching on a TV, I like to watch my videos if I'm home on the big screen on my computer monitor, which is 32-inch. So I like the bigger screen, and TVs, let's face it, some of them are 60, 85, 100-inch TVs. So let me know in the comments, though, your thoughts on the video quality. Would you prefer me to record all the time in 4K and 60 frames per second? But that's not what we're talking about in this video. As I pointed out to you before, I wanted to talk about whether this, or you'll see in the thumbnail as well, the title of the video, I want to talk about this bike here or any other bikes that are similar to it as far as speed goes, and where they qualify, whether they're an e-bike or are they qualified more as an electric moped or motorcycle. So here's what it comes down to. And by the way, this is my second take on this video. I did one and I had to come out and redo the whole video, which I'm doing now. And because I didn't like the other video, I think I made a few mistakes in it. So I thought I'm just going to do it again. So here's my thinking on this bike. Okay, this bike technically is both an e-bike and an e-moped. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's a switch. And I've showed you this before, but there's a switch. Let me pull over for a second so it's a little safer to show you, because I want to show you this. Get in the sun so you can actually see it better. Okay, so there's a switch right here. So the switch is out at the moment. So when I push it in, that makes it an e-bike class 2. It limits the motor to 750 watts. It still peaks at 1600, but I don't think it matters the peak wattage. For law purposes, I think they're just more on the output of the motor. They don't talk about peak output. They usually talk about more the sustained, I believe anyway. That's the way I read it. And so if I push that out now, like it is right there, then it becomes a off-road. This is where you're going to call it a moped, electric moped, because the motor becomes 3,000 watts, 7,200 peak, and I think it even peaks beyond that, according to Area 13 and his dyno. When he did his test on this bike, it almost peaked at 8,200 watts, I believe, 8,196, I think it was, or 8,176, something like that. And so that would definitely put it into a moped category. But that's only if you're riding in off-road mode. And like they say, it's meant for private property. Okay, so how many of you out there who own a bike, this very bike or one similar to it, capabilities that are the same, 3,000 watt motor, there's a lot of them out there, bikes that are this big or even a larger motor. It's got pedals on it too, by the way. But how many of you out there actually ride it in the class 2 mode? I bet you zero. I bet you none of you guys ride it on the road in the class 2, sluggish class 2 mode. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have bought this bike, right? You want the capabilities of the off-road features, you know, and the capabilities that the off-road has to offer. Otherwise, I don't think you would buy the bike. I wouldn't have bought the bike. I bought the bike knowing its full capabilities. I did not buy this bike to pedal. I bought this bike strictly as a throttle bike. And that's what I do. So basically a moped, okay, so you got your class levels, and you guys know out there, any of the regular viewers know that I'm not a fan of the class levels, right? I want to throw them out the window and just go with the speed limit. But it is what it is right now. It's class levels, right? You got your class 1, class 2, class 3. I'm not going to go over everything again, but you know class 3 is a max speed of 28 miles per hour. And I believe most everywhere say, well, you can't throttle to that, you can only pedal to that. But we'll even say, for the purposes of this video, that yeah, you can, even if you throttle to that, okay? So if you get above 28, class 3, you then become moped. No matter what, it becomes moped speed. So that'd be basically 30 and above. Now, that would be more of an entry moped in the 30 to 40 miles per hour range. Or actually 30 to 45. And that's where this bike would kind of be, is in that, at the top end of an entry-level moped speed. I'm going into a pretty good wind here. Hopefully, I'm yelling almost, but I'm sure you guys are able to hear me just fine, but I can't hear myself, so I'm talking louder so I can hear myself. But anyway, so anything basically above 45 miles an hour up to 60 is still moped, but it's a higher end, top of the line speed of moped, right? The higher end speed. So if you get above 60 and above, you're starting to go into what you would say motorcycle. That's highway speeds, right? And let's face it, some mopeds can get up to highway speeds too. If it's 55, you're just skirting right there at the top end of that, of the top end of the moped speed. So that's why I think this bike really, now it really is a moped if you're riding it in off-road mode. And like I say, I think just about all of us out there with any bike that's above class 3 are definitely not riding it in on-road mode to keep it below that, because otherwise you wouldn't have bought the bike, I'm sure. You want to have the capabilities of going that fast because there may be an occasion to need to use that speed, or maybe you're one of those guys that likes to ride all the time in a high speed. Like, I'll give you an example. Somebody like, and hey, I watch his videos all the time. I like watching his videos, but he's a little bit of a speedster, and that would be Mr. Central Driver, right? He likes to ride his bikes hard and fast, but that's fine if that's what he chooses to do. But that's definitely moped speeds that he rides at. Almost missed my turn there. And so anything that's basically above 28, or we'll say 30 to make it a nice even number, you're into moped territory, whether you want to admit it or not. But that's what the speed limit or the speeds laws will put it at. Now, I know you can argue, well, the bike has pedals or it doesn't have pedals, but most of us, I'm not going to say all, but most of us are probably just throttling anyway when we're getting up to those speeds. One of the reasons why I would be throttling at that speed is because I have no bike that can keep up with the pedals without ghost pedaling, and I don't want to be a ghost pedaler. I don't like ghost pedaling. I hate it. If I'm going to pedal a bike, I want to be able to pedal it and feel the resistance a little bit, you know. I don't want to just move my legs. That just isn't right. I don't like that feel. It probably looks goofy and it feels goofy to me. I want to pedal it if I'm gonna. I'd love to have a bike that I could pedal that doesn't ghost pedal, that can go 35 miles an hour. If I can pedal 35 miles an hour and not ghost pedal, I'm all for that. I would like that. But again, it wouldn't be this bike. This bike is designed, the way it's set up here, it's designed to throttle, in my opinion. So I got a guy on my rear end. I'm gonna speed up here to speed limit. because I was going a little slow. So I'm not just saying Lyric Cycles and their Graffiti X is the only bike that you put in that category. Because let's face it, there's a lot of bikes that exceed 30 miles an hour or class 3. Goat Power Bikes, Spark Cycle Works, all of their bikes. Like well, they only have a couple at the moment. The Javelin and the Brute. Onyx, certainly Onyx is pushing motorcycle actually, because they're going above 60. That's into the motorcycle territory. Who else do we have? What about Ehora? Wired and their Wired Predator and Wired Warrior. Even though they don't look like a moped or that, they're going at speeds that are, so they should be category moped as well. But you know what? Everyone's riding the bikes, and there's no hard and fast law, it seems like, that's preventing it. So until something comes down where they change any of the like the laws on that, and make them force you to register a bike that's capable of going above 28 miles an hour, people are just going to keep riding and keep buying them. But I think, my thinking is, if you ride responsibly, it shouldn't matter. And again, I'm going to bring this up, I always bring it up, but I want to get rid of class levels. I just don't like them. And let's just have a flat speed limit. Let's make it 30, or even, personally, I'd like to see it 35 for a speed limit for a bike. And then if you're going above that, yeah, I think maybe then, especially if you get beyond 35, I think you are getting into where you might need to. But I'll say this, if you're going to ride at speeds above 35 and have to register and all that, you may as well, they have to allow you to ride in the roads. Maybe you can't be on a highway, but any of these roads up to, you know, a lot of them, you know, maybe 30, 35 miles an hour, they shouldn't have any problem with you riding in with traffic. But then, are they going to allow you also to ride in the bike lane? There's the other question. Because there's times when there's a lot of traffic in front, you can just whip onto the bike lane. But if you got your bike registered as a moped that goes above 35 miles an hour, maybe that takes away your ability to ride in the bike lane and certainly ride on bike trails. So you don't really want that, I don't think, right? I mean, I love the ability to ride in bike lanes, on the road, and in the bike on the bike trails. So, but maybe you have to decide there. If you're, do you want a bike that goes above 35 that can't, you know, you can no longer ride in the bike lane? I don't know. Interesting conversation. I'm sure I'm going to get lots of comments on this one way or the other. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong, but go ahead and fire off your opinions on this. I'm just giving my thoughts on it. And I certainly, when you go by the rules and regulations as far as speed goes, right now it is true that anything above 28 technically is a moped. There's no class levels. There should be, and here's the thing, if they're going to continue with class levels, and like I say, I don't like them, I think there's one class missing, class 4. Class 4 would take it from 28 to 35 in my opinion. Perfect. That's the sweet spot right there. And then above 35, yes, you're getting into moped. You could talk moped. But I don't think it's because the bike is capable of going that speed. I think it's how you ride it. But they're going to go by how the bike's capable, what it's capable of. This one here is capable of 45 plus. And so, yeah, it's going to be considered a moped. It is what it is. And right now it's still, as a lot of people say, and I say this too, it's still a wild, wild west. And things are still shuffling on the board. We haven't got a definitive glued down, our pieces aren't glued down on the board yet. We're still playing the game. So we'll see where it goes. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. Hey, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget also to share the video. And if you would like to subscribe to the channel, thank you very much. Just hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified as to when the next video comes up on the channel, just hit that notification bell. And if you want to comment on this or any other videos that you've seen on the channel, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. And once again, thank you for joining me on this video. And until next time, be safe everyone, and keep your wheels on the road. See you later.